Thank you everyone for being here today. We're here today, obviously, to talk about a lot of the anti-Semitism that we've been seeing around the world, around the city, and around the county, and what's been going on recently. I want to first make sure to just recognize everybody who's here, and then we're going to call up. I'll lead in with calling up Rabbi Cooper to speak to get us started, and then go into the rest of the folks here who are here to say a few words. But I just wanted to make sure before we get started to recognize Senator Bob Singer, who's here. Thank you. Our freeholders, Joseph Beccari, Virginia Haynes, and Gary Quinn. In no particular order, we also have Father Bambrick. Thank you so much, who has stood with us so many times. Frank Holman, Tim Hart, the Ocean County historian. We have representatives from Congressman Kim's office and Congressman Smith's office. We have Reverend Sean Highland of the Movie Earth Ministries. We have Committeeman Mike D'Elia from Lakewood Township, Prosecutor Bradley Billheimer from Ocean County, Ken Bressie from the Jackson City Council, and Joseph Hertz from Agudath Israel of America. Please, if I've forgotten anybody, please let me know so I can make sure you're properly acknowledged. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce the Associate Dean and Director of Social Action at the Simon Wiesenthal Center, Rabbi Abraham Cooper, who actually just flew in from Los Angeles this morning to be here today, considering the importance of what's going on here. So, thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Good afternoon, everyone. And I did take the overnight. As you can see, I made it. My clothes, I hope, will be here shortly. So I apologize for the overly California laid-back look. It's not the way I usually show up to a press conference. I'd like to make a number of points. We all are aware of the unprecedented seriousness of anti-Semitism in our country, and unfortunately, especially with the latest news, latest information about the bomb that was in the van in Jersey City that would have taken out everyone within a radius of 5 football fields. We're not just talking about words anymore. We're talking about real threats, real lives destroyed. And first of all, let me just say on behalf of the 400,000 members of the Simon Wiesenthal Center, how grateful we are to see this amazing turnout, cross-section of the community in solidarity with the Jewish community that right now is hurting. So first and foremost, in the last 10 days, I've been at press conferences in Chicago, in Los Angeles. The Simon Wiesenthal Center has asked President Trump to create an FBI special task force on anti-Semitism. Some of you may recall some years ago when there was a string of horrible arsons of African-American churches in the South. And no one, not the so-called experts, no one knew if there were dots that needed to be connected, whether they were individual or isolated cases. And really the only institution capable of helping us objectively address those issues is the FBI. So we've put in that request to President Trump. As we speak, the Chicago City Council is considering a resolution. State legislators down in Illinois have done so. Tonight in Manhattan, we have the State of Anti-Semitism lecture and some of the local city officials there. So we want to thank the governor and the Attorney General, especially for their responsiveness, their leadership in dealing with anti-Semitism within the borders, and commend them, and to ask through this event that leaders in New Jersey at all levels communicate directly to the White House and join us in asking that task force be created. It's an effective tool. You don't ask for it every day, but we think it's something that is absolutely necessary. And the proof is we learn more and more details of just one horrific incident here in the state of New Jersey. We know we've gone way beyond the realm of debating words. In addition, just a few other points. We've created back 27 years ago at the Simon Wiesenthal Center a project called Digital Terrorism and Hate. That means we've been monitoring how extremists leverage internet technologies almost since the beginning of the internet. To make it clear, I don't understand the technology whatsoever. If you have any questions, I'll forward them to my grandchildren. They can probably help you out. But we have been following how these technologies have been leveraged. A few weeks ago, Michael Cohen and I were with the top 3 NYPD officials. When I asked them, what's different than 5 years ago? They all answered immediately, social media. And to make it clear, we put out an annual report called Digital Terrorism and Hate. The 2020 report will be released in Congress on March 5th. And we take kind of a snapshot of what's going on. For many years, a lot of people didn't understand what we were talking about. Today, everybody understands that social media is the front line. And again, to clarify why we're looking to Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and the rest to take more proactive measures. These are companies that are for-profit companies. How many of you have ever read that, that gray button that says "I agree" when you get you sign on to something? How many here now? Be honest. I've got a member of the Catholic Church. You got an Orthodox rabbi. A couple. How many people have ever read that language underneath the "I agree" button? I also have never read it, but I have people on our staff that have. When you push that button, you're agreeing to a contract between yourself and the company. And they set the rules.